Let's get right into this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a really fascinating intersection, the exact point where commercial law, decentralized finance, and numismatics all collide. We're going to unpack the foundational architecture of the Justice Fund Exchange, AFINET, and notary chain ecosystems. At the center of all this is C.MILES, an ANA member and notary public who is essentially bridging the cutting edge of Web3 with highly traditional fiduciary frameworks.
So you might be wondering, what's the core issue here? Well, we have to start by confronting a massive, real-world challenge. How do you actually take speculative, non-traditional assets, like a rare numismatic coin collection or a digital crypto asset, and turn them into something that traditional banks, closing attorneys, and credit committees will actually trust? Because let's be real, public blockchain visibility alone is simply not enough. Your asset has to pass a brutally strict verification gauntlet.
Okay, let's take a step back and define what we are actually trying to create here. We have to move way beyond mere currency to this concept of sound money. In the Justice Fund ecosystem, sound money isn't just about gold or crypto, it is verified value under lawful control. Value only becomes truly trustworthy when it is backed up by hard evidence, lawful authority, secure custody, and strictly auditable records.
Which brings us to what's often called the trillion-dollar problem. Traditional institutional finance absolutely won't touch dormant or digital assets because they lack the rigorous evidence-first underwriting required to survive a compliance review. I mean, a blockchain hash is cool, right? But it doesn't automatically create a legal security interest, it doesn't prove real-world ownership, and it certainly doesn't replace commercial law. Without a repeatable, fully compliant workflow, all these assets just remain frozen.
Section 1. Meet the Master Architect.
C.MILES operates as the foundational architect connecting these entirely different worlds, and his cross-disciplinary portfolio is honestly staggering. Legally, he's a commissioned Delaware public notary, trustee for the Guns of Goldie's Business Trust, and holds a UCC Mastery certification. On the tech side, he's a certified ethical hacker, a master Web3 developer, and a certified AI prompt engineer. And in finance, he is an active multi-licensed broker registered with Veritex Holding NMLS number 414688, along with Dominion Financial Services and Go Capital. Plus, he's a fully accredited AAA cryptocurrency arbitration specialist.
Section 2. Layer 1. The Legal Blueprint.
So using over 690 hours of rigorous civil law notary training, Miles legally perfects secured transactions, which literally brings real-world legal weight directly onto the blockchain. He administers sworn affidavits of commerce, verifies identities, and prepares these apostille-ready evidentiary packages for cross-border use. He is absolutely focused on establishing the procedural truth before a single line of code is ever written.
He also brilliantly navigates the complex waters of the Uniform Commercial Code. For physical collateral, things like precious metals or rare coins, he utilizes UCC Article 9 to attach and perfect security interests. But for digital assets, he applies UCC Article 12, which deals with controllable electronic records, or CERs. It's essentially a belt and suspender strategy, executing authenticated security agreements and filing UCC 1 financing statements to ensure total legal compliance across both the physical and digital realms.
Section 3. Layer 2. The Digital Vault.
Having built that legal foundation, Miles then puts on his master Web3 developer and cybersecurity hat. He deploys Solidity and Rust smart contracts across Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Hyperledger. Once an evidence package is legally complete, he secures the manifests on decentralized hosting networks like IPFS and Filecoin. This anchors an unalterable, biometric-locked digital seal right onto the immutable ledger.
And this quote perfectly illustrates why elite credentials, like being a digital asset recovery specialist and a blockchain forensics investigator, matter so much. Evidence-first underwriting demands a completely unalterable digital record. If your system relies on catchy slogans, simple screenshots, or optimistic appraisals, it's going to instantly fail an audit by a compliance officer. The data absolutely must be forensically sound.
Section 4. Synthesizing Law and Code.
Now here is where the magic really happens, the synergy of these disciplines. Miles engineers traditional SaaS front ends using familiar enterprise tools like Next.js, React, and Node.js. He incorporates secure OIDC authentication and CI/CD pipelines to give institutional lenders the exact dashboards they expect. But right beneath the surface, he integrates Web3 engineering, utilizing LEI API wallet transactions and 2 of 3 multi-signature custody to anchor all that data immutably on-chain. It's a real game changer.
We actually see this synthesis in action through the PHUL platform, which stands for Pledged Asset Lending.
It automates this entire pipeline. It starts with notarial authentication of the asset, hashes that evidence cryptographically onto Web3, moves it seamlessly through automated KYC and compliance escrow gates, and then finishes up with UCC perfection. It systematically turns a raw, dormant collectible into the exact commercial paper required for institutional project execution.
But to maintain total integrity, this entire system is governed by strict role separation, which is known as the triad of trust. The notary provides the procedural truth, the trustee polices the ethics, and an independent numismatist authenticates the object. This governance model strictly dictates that no single person can originate, verify, value, approve, and audit the same matter. It's an absolutely crucial mechanism to prevent fraud and unsupported claims.
By mastering this workflow, dormant assets are legally transformed and guided through what they call the LBO to LCO continuum. So a sponsor might provide a 1% deposit just to activate the workflow, leveraging the verified collateral for bridge financing. Then, as the project stabilizes, this transitions into a liquidity capital option, which unlocks settlement-ready capital for massive institutional pipelines. Make sense?
Section 5. The Future of Capital.
As the Justice Fund Exchange architecture teaches us, without this cross-disciplinary, evidence-first approach, you are literally just speculating. The foundational principle here is crystal clear. Value without evidence is speculation, and evidence without custody is unreliable. You have to actively connect documentation, authentication, custody, compliance, and cryptographic verification into a single, cohesive trust architecture.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question to chew on as we head into the future of decentralized finance. If your assets aren't legally verified through commercial law and cryptographically secured on an immutable ledger, do you really own them in a way the institutional world will actually recognize? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this gives you a clearer picture of how trust is actually being architected in our modern financial paradigm.